what's up? This is Warp coming at you with another Maptalk. Ramed's YouTube.
Yo.
Shout out. Peace.
Subscribe.
Okay, there we go. So
What is this HUD?
I can give it you afterwards if you want. It is a custom one that Domo made a while back. It's
Oh,
not very.
no, I
I
was just
don't know.
wondering because it looked like the garment,
Actually,
but
you know what? The numbers are too low. It might just be because I've got the casting. I just did a demo review, so it
I
might
think
be
they're
because
too
of that. They are too
high.
low. Oh, too high?
I
Oh,
prefer
whatever.
lower.
I'm used to them being a bit higher. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that I understand mid fights and the way I explain them on every single map is there are basically 4 variations. So you have these 4 ways of doing mid fights that will apply to every single map. And I think it's important to know this so that you're able to focus on each one and you kind of understand each of these 4 ways. The way you go about doing them, the way you achieve them can be different, but these 4 fundamental ways. Basically, they go left side, right side, slow or fast, and that's kind of it. So certain maps you'll have preferences for going different ways, and sometimes, you know, a slow right might not work at all on process or something like that, but we'll get to that. But here, personally, I think I have quite a preference towards left-sided mids, but that's a team thing. But if you go left side on the mids, which is again what I have a preference for, but it's up to you guys, you can roll out your heals through Valley. I would take your players left. Pretty much everyone on your team you want coming through Valley, other than maybe your Roma who can delay in Cafe, Hidden, Choke, or Valley even. So he can mix that up, it's up to him. But the objective of this left side is you want to take this space. You need both of your scouts up on Tetris. One can be on the cafe roof if he wants, but if you can get both of your scouts on here as like the anti-air, waiting for soldiers to bomb, that's like, it is very huge. Controlling this area is really good. But it's important that you guys all pick a side and like stick to that. It's too often on like mid fights, teams will just be split. So it's left side, mid, you go, you take this ground. You bring your medic out of choke. It's statistically more likely, the further back your med is, the more likely they will die on any mid. The further forward your med is, the more likely they'll live. So you want to bring your med forwards. You want to get them towards cafe. You want to get them like around here. You can get your demo. As a pocket solly, I will come left. Take this. When you do this left side mid, though, you need to count the soldiers. Say, do we see both? Okay, it's fine. If you only see one, assume that there's one in cafe, your pocket, or and like a pocket and a scout can go take that fight quickly. But the whole like idea of this left side is how do I word this? So if you go left, the pacing of the mids will be determined by where they go. So if you go left and they're left, you want to go fast. You want to commit early into them. So if at this point you're here, your demo calls, oh, they're around choke, they're towards the left. You want your solly to high bomb off here. You want your scouts to come up quickly here and just take this fight ASAP. You want to be quick into them. If they go right, then you take it slow. That's when you take this kind of position. At that point, you can either try to wrap a solly round, get some damage, spot isolated players, wait for a pick and go on that. But that's kind of the setup for the left side. For the right side, you can roll out choke rather than Valley. But the same exact thing applies. You want to get your scouts up on this ground quickly. Demo medic somewhere under. You can have your pocket up here. I like to go here. Your Roma, again, can go pretty much anywhere. He can be with the team even, getting healed up. Again, if you like determine whether you're going left or right before you get to the mid. Your demo says, okay, we're going left this mid, so you guys all go for that. You aim to take that high ground. If your demo says we're going right, you go aim to take this ground. And if they're on the right, then it's a right fast. You go into them quickly. If you can send a solly bomb onto them early, you just want to take that fight into them ASAP. If they go left, though, you then play it slowly. You go for more of a spam game, wait until you get any sort of opportunities, and then still pick a point where you commit. So, the demo's out of position away from everyone else. Okay, we bomb that. That's how you initiate the fight. But that's kind of how the mid fights go. I was a bit hectic with how I explained that, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your demo on the way calls left side or right side. If they're on the left, when you go left, go fast. So if they go the opposite side, take it slowly. If they go the same side, go quickly. And you're basically your scouts. If you go left, take that Tetris. If you go right, take that Tetris, just to set up the mid.
Would you say that going fast and going slow, is that a good general rule for most maps,
It is,
like Gully Wash or something?
Yeah, I will say that's good for pretty much every map. There's kind of the only map it doesn't quite work on is Snakewater, but it still does to an extent. But because it's quite a narrow mid, you can be more spread out. You don't really need to stack aside. But if you blob up and you're all on right side, if you're playing against teams that are not properly coordinated, you have like 1 or 2 players here, 1 or 2 players there. You'll be able to find like these isolated picks. You'll be super blobbed. They try to aggress into you one by one. So just having that cohesion of this is a right side mid. Okay, they've gone left, we take it slow. Oh, they're right, we go. So yes, that all makes sense for the mids. Any questions on that? Or
Yeah. How does your demo decide which side he will go?
whatever he feels like. If, to be honest, the way I do it is I will default particular sides most mids. So personally, I find the left side works super well on these mids. I do it, we call it like 80% of the time. When not to do it is either if something's going wrong on the mids, you need to mix it up, or you can, I don't know, your demo fails his rollout or something, gets a gut instinct to change it up. Otherwise, it's kind of it is abstract. It doesn't matter. You can. I would say going left most of the time on this particular mid works, but you can mix it up. If the mids are going horribly wrong for you and they're just countering you every time you go left, then obviously mix it up, go right side. But if you keep going left on mids and you keep winning, there's no reason to change it up.
I mean, in scrims, I guess we could just try it, just.
Oh yeah, try both. Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. In scrims, for sure. Yeah. That's a very, very good point. Yeah, you do want to use your scrim time effectively. I'm assuming that's it for the mids there. Okay. If anyone's got any specific questions for me afterwards, let me know. But last holds, I'll go over disad first. Your med wants to be building far back. We personally do it behind point with the soldier. If you end up having to go into spawn, it gets a bit rough. So pocket and medic building back here. You can have a gun back left, maybe a sniper too. It's pretty similar setup to process, to be honest. And then when you're building back here, you have a sniper's useful to make sure that they use in early, but they shouldn't go too far from the spawn, and they should instantly switch off, like once they've pushed in. Definitely don't stay on that too long. In which case, you can either come back out as heavy, it's pretty strong, or you can have like a sentry. On disad, the sentry you can kind of mix it up. It's not too important, but generally just left spawn, build it quickly. But that's the type of time where you can like have it weird in one of these kind of weird spots, but. Generally, if it just eats their Uber up early on, it's done its job. So, your roamer should be watching right side by himself. This is kind of the normal positioning for that. But once they go in, either one of two things will happen. They'll either go in left or they'll go in right. If they go in right, you all rotate left. You bring your medic up here. But more often than not, most teams tend to use Uber ads through left, so you'll end up moving right together. So just whoever your main caller is, say, okay, they're using left, blob up right. I love the word blob. I say it as often as I can. So blob up right. And at this point, the way that disad works is you want whichever solly is on this flank already. If you rotate right, it'll be your roamer. If you rotate left, it might be your pocket. But this soldier locks out the flank, while your other soldier focuses the point. If you only have one solly alive, then focusing the point needs to be the priority. So they might bait the cap a bit with a scout, so you focus them off. If they're committing to it, then you bomb it. And it's really important that you have a synergy with your soldiers, that one of them stuffs the flank, and one of them blocks the point. And then once the first person has blocked the point, the second solly needs to be able to block the point. So you need to communicate. It won't always be like clear cut like this. It might be that sometimes your roamers not able to watch the flank, or he's in resup, or but you've got to call. Okay, can I block first? Something like that. So that's the disad hold. I would say I didn't go over the demo or the sticks there. I would say disad sticks on point as always. I guess in the cone's quite a funny place for them, but disad sticks on point.
Okay.
And that's true on like every map. It's you want to buy time, wait to get this Uber, wait for your spawners. If you're ever on disad last, you want to slow things down as much as you can. Having the point trap will slow them down. Yeah, so even Ubers hold, the way that I do this, it depends how sweaty you want to be. The sweatiest way of doing this is sentry gun here, dispenser either here or maybe even on the barrels. I've seen a lot. So sentry, dispenser, pocket soldier, left side with medic. The sweatiness comes from your other scout. If you should never have scouts during last holds, just get them up on something else. Unless they're like just about to push or you're maybe expecting a sack. Generally, having scouts kind of useless, so you definitely want one scout on NG. Your other scout, if you're being super sweaty, have him on pyro, protecting the gun. Otherwise, he can be sniper, rotating left or right side, so either option's fine. Pocket left side with medic. Your flank then, you have Aroma watching towards right side, and your demo, you want to trap right side and lower. So have dungeon right side trapped. You can watch everything from back here even. You can be like super safe. You don't even need to bait yourself, but I wouldn't try not to be this far forwards. If you cross this line from the point, you can get caught. So really, I would trap and I'd probably play from point around here. Would be the safest way to play. Okay, any questions about the last hold then?
No.
Oh, okay.
Should your actually, I've got a question. Should your
Yeah,
med like rotate heals? Like if it's just kind of stalematey and like as a med.
You want to
Can I-
make sure that you surviving, or in fact, you keeping Uber is more important than buffing your Roma. So if you can do it safely, like I don't know, one of their players has just died and they're not expecting a sack. Yes. Otherwise, I would get your Roma to rotate towards you. This gun, the whole point of it, other than controlling this like high ground, is to protect your medic from bombs. It's the whole point. If you have sentry guns like down here, or like if you ever see teams with sentries here, it's such a huge exploit is just sending in soldiers onto the medic. Because if the medic stood over there, the sentry won't stop the bombs. So that's the whole point of it, really. So that's always something you want to consider. Pushing out of last is one of the roughest things ever, because you push out onto, like, they have high ground. It's just, this is the only issue with the map, really. It's really difficult to do. Main way, if you know there isn't going to be a spy, bring everyone out. I'm saying a lot of like general sixes stuff here that's not too map specific. On process I'll be much more map specific, but here a lot of what I'm saying will apply to every map, so I won't repeat it on process, but that's why this will take like a little bit longer on Sunshine. But when you're pushing out, I think it's easy to leave your demo in lobby having this shutter and balcony trapped. You can watch these two chokes. When you're pushing out, the easiest way of doing it kind of is bottom left. You can either walk it up the stairs here or just go through this lower choke. Regardless, you just want to... It's always a good practice if your pocket's here to clear traps, but you want to get through, and whenever you're going through a choke point like this with Uberad, you want to be quick. So once you're here, you just W in. If you delay in these chokes, it's not good. But a lot of teams, what they'll tend to do on pushing out Sunshine, I've seen it a lot, is going through dungeon, where you leave the demo in lobby with those two things trapped, and one of like your Roma watching this left side, and then the combo, like both scouts, pocket, medic can all come out this way and get in for free. So you can try both of those, but bottom left is pretty good by default. So second hold, I like to have pocket right side. The demo can trap cafe if he wants, but usually it's not too important because it's just one it'll usually just be like one soldier here or something. So this is just even Ubers. Best to have pocket on right side, medic and scout towards here. Second scout can be a bit more towards the flank, perhaps here. And honestly, trying to tell scouts where to hold during holds is kind of like silly, because they can rotate, they can be spotting, getting info, or just protecting the med is the main thing. So you just want both of your scouts really with your med if you're expecting sacks. And your demo can be here as well. You can have sticks towards choke, but a really strong sticky trap is here. Just because if solis tend to sack, they end up landing like around here. And at this point, if they're sending in a soli sack, if that's trapped, your medic can dodge onto point, and then the trap will deal with them. That can be a nice counterplay for sacks. And then that just leaves your roamer left side watching the flank. I don't stand up here. You can stand down here. You don't need to cross this line either. You can watch it quite comfortably from there. You got the small pack here, and you've even got the resources in that lower lobby there. For disad, the solis can be set up pretty similar. You just want to be building far back, either towards shutter or balcony. It's kind of rough. Disads on second is usually you just want to get out and survive for last. You can send a soli sack, but really you don't want to lose more than that. Okay. Pushing into mid. It's really situational. If you ever go cafe, I think it's pretty strong, but you've got to do it right. When you go through, if your demo's in here, you want to trap off this left side and walk out right side. So sometimes solis will be up top. They might try dropping down onto your med or something. If you can kind of bait that and then get through to the right is really important. The reason why going through to the right is important is because you have more cover here. You're very exposed, right? You've also got Tetris blocking line of sight. You can get in a bit further, and it's nice for your scouts to take here. So if you ever go cafe, come out to the right. Otherwise, choke is fine if you're just going quick, like they're 3 down or something. Otherwise, going through valley is pretty good. And as before, it's just getting through quickly, getting on top of the high ground, like Wing through, setting up on mid. Okay, mid holds at this point aren't too important. Really, the most important thing is potentially you can have a flank scout stood here getting info. It's pretty good because you can see cafe, valley, choke. You can see everything from here. So this is really good for info. And you're still somewhat on high ground, so you can help protect your med from bombs. That position's kind of important. Everyone else, though, once you got the midpoint, the hold isn't as important. You want to be looking for openings, but if you had to have a hold, it would be pocket towards cafe again, Roma towards valley, demo towards choke. It's kind of like mirroring the second hold. In terms of breaking the stalemate here, sending in sacks is pretty common, obviously. The sack through choke is good, but you've got to get information. If you know that the demo likes to hold towards valley or something, then you can think, oh, okay, maybe we can go for players cafe and choke. But if you find players out of position, often it's worth trying to get on them rather than the medic, because trying to bomb good medics with like coordinated teams with both scouts around it's a nightmare. There are some sacks that you can do, but some of the best plays really are to kind of try to take the flank. You can have a soli bomb through choke, for example, and try to land on this Roma while the rest of your team pushes valley. You can take a kind of scrappy fight and try to get a scout through into lower lobby behind. It's more popular on like Gully Wash, but it does work here. Otherwise, you can just pressure cooker as a team. Everyone kind of peeks different doors, just applies pressure and just see if any areas there's an opening. Maybe your flank might be pressuring here, but your combo's more towards choke, and they're denying that. But then your pocket's peeking from here, he finds an opening. So it can be good to just apply pressure at times and see what crumbles.
Sorry, I have a question. What's cooker, by the way? I've never heard of that.
Pressure cooker. It's a term that was like coined by the Americans, but
oh, I thought there was a map call out. My bad.
No.
Yeah,
It's the best way to explain it is, let's say you're on your second, and they send in a sack. what do you do after that? A lot of teams will just go to send in like a counter sack, where just, oh, okay, their soldier's dead, we'll just go send in our roamer, let him go try to take a force, but we'll try to force them, but it's very difficult to do against good teams. It just does not work.
Yes.
So the better thing to do once you have a player ad but you're on second, rather than sending counter sacks, is to pressure cooker. So the way that this works is they will have a soldier down. There are 3 choke points, but only 2 explosive classes. If your flank, let's say your Roman and your scout pushes Valley, med, scout, demo push choke, pocket pushes cafe, this would be a pressure cooker. You don't commit to the fight, but you all go close, kind of feel them out, try to do a bit of spam here. And you'll find that there will be a weakness because they're one of their explosive classes down. This is true on any map. It's a really good call, it's a really good play, and what will happen in this position is usually either, maybe it could be your pocket scout, could be your roamer, could be your pocket, could be anyone. They find an opening, like no one's watching cafe, so your pocket's free to sack, and that will work out a lot better because there's no one watching him. You're already doing spam, like it just really supports counter sack plays, and you don't even have to counter sack. Sometimes if you just do this like pressure cooker, you can just force them out with spam. Or you can find some isolated picks. Ooh, the med's far back towards Tetris, but there's a demo close towards choke. You can just get on that. It just creates better opportunities. It's not like a set play of, oh, we will do this very specific thing. It's you all push out together and try to find some weaknesses. So that is a pressure cooker. There is another term that I think is really good, kind of opposite to that, which Domo and I called froyoing, but you can come up with your own term for it. But when you have like mid and they're pushing in with Uber ad, so you have an Uber disad hold on mid. What a lot of teams will do is they might like hide a soldier, and then the rest of your team are building far back, and then they come in, and once they've come in, you just send in one soldier and the rest of your team gets out. It's the same kind of situation where you're just like sacrificing one of your soldiers and just hope that they get the pick. But it's not really good team play. Puts a lot of pressure just on them to make that play happen. So this version, like with the pressure cooker, you do it with the whole team. So if we're saying we froyo this, Uber disad holds, we would have our solis set up on high ground. One might be there, one might be here. We have a scout spotting early. We try to have people as far forwards as they can be without getting caught. It's a difficult line to toe, but it can work really well, where teams will just try to take, let's say, Valley for free. But as they're doing that, you say, okay, both solis, okay, focus this demo. There's like a demo out in front. Okay, demo took 30, demo took 30. If just everyone's doing that, you would just force them with spam and teamwork. Power of friendship.
That's what I mentioned to Danto when I was watching Blaze's review. He never had to like force bomb because they just spammed them out every time.
Yeah, it's just much better team play. It's good. So we call that froyoing. It's just something that Froyotech did really, really, really well. But you can have your own term for it. But that's the opposite thing. And then you guys can back out and repush with the Uber ad. Yeah.
That's kind of like what we do on Snakewater when we hold mids.
I mean,
with
this
the
is with the solis up top. You can spam that. If they come catwalk, that's just such a crunch. I mean, that's a thing on every map. I kind of glossed. Did I gloss over it? I guess so. But that what I just said really applies for every map. The specifics of it might change, but like where people hold, but the fundamental idea will be the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talked about a few ways of breaking the second stalemate. I'm not really a fan of a sniper here, but I guess you can. But I prefer to go for a sack. Pushing to last. I mean, I'll just while I'm on second here. If you're outside, it's really good for the setup. Outside should be demo, med, scout. Your scout should be here, spotting dungeon maybe. It's not necessary if you have your flank watching it, but by default, I don't see why not. Demo can have shutter trapped. Pocket, I like to play close balcony. and then your roamer or flank scout can be here. This spot is pretty important, because if you're here, then you can just see everything. You know if players are going dungeon, you can see what they're setting up to do. So that's really important. But when you're outside, if you're like building Uber before getting ready to push into lobby, going into lobby, the safest way, the sweatiest way is to go through lower together. It's like what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't really matter. A lot of teams just go through here, but you can be kind of caught with spam, but entering through lower is the safe play. Once you're in lobby, it's worth having an idea of what you want to do. So people need to watch things together. It's good to have one of your scouts, perhaps your pocket scout, a bit towards here, just spotting dungeon. Often that's not watched, and while a lot of teams won't counter sack out of their last for no reasons, you'll just get the odd one that will try it. So having that watch is pretty important. Personally, I would have either your pocket or your demo watch top right, flank watch left. You can just rotate through lobby. Just keep that in mind of like the door. One person needs to be watching one door at all time, and the rest of the team can kind of rotate. But whenever you're in this position, as I said before, you want to peek, you want to get info, see where they're holding, what they have. If the demo is holding right side, for example, you make plays on the left. If demos ever hold here, it just means you are free to just constantly sack or push into their flank. On this last, the easiest thing, if they don't have a sentry gun or a heavy, or they're not set up in a way to deny bombs, that's the simplest, easiest play to do, is just send in a sack or two. Two-man sack here is fine because pushing out is so difficult, so you can sack two. You can have a solly bomb in from right, scout rat in from dungeon, anything like that, to force the med. If they've got a sentry gun, if you can destroy it, great. If you're struggling though with like double solly spam, then you can try going for some players on the flank. One thing that we like to do, I like to bomb through left, while my roamer bombs in through lower, and we try to catch anyone that's on the flank. You need to like clear stickies that might be here, but you can take control of this side and it's fine. You don't need to commit to pushing, you can just take this space, see what you get. You can get the gun from here, perhaps. But yeah, I didn't go over the Uber ad push, so I'll quickly do that and then I'll open up to questions and then move on to process. But Uber ad pushes, if you're going speedy, I kind of like doing it from dungeon. Often they won't be set up for it. If you've like rolled them on second and you're leaving one scout on the cap, if you can push in through dungeon quickly, it can be pretty strong. Otherwise, top right Uber is pretty standard. It's demo scout. You use on a demo, he puts a sticky down, jumps in towards the right spawn. Sentry needs to go down first. Then, personally, I like my demo man to lock out whichever spawn he pushes. Maybe not on Snake Quarter, but on every other map, if he does not lock out this spawn, it's a throw. So I just like my demo to go through, take out the gun, lock off the spawn, and then focus pipes any other sticky spam towards left. But it's because if heavies or anything like that comes out, you can just deny the spawn and you control this space. So like 4 stickies there. You can preemptively put stickies on point while spamming pipes. And at this point, once you've gone through, and I would have your pocket soldier follow up, help take out the gun, and then if there are any picks close, like on this right side, you focus those down quickly. Otherwise, you shoot the point, clear the stickies that might be hiding, and then let your scout bait the cap. You're not going to commit to capping at this stage, but if your pocket scout then baits the cap, your pocket can then bomb or shoot anyone that goes to deny the scout, and you have this whole back and forth of baiting the point. It's like this little elegant dance, this little ballet of like tiptoeing on and off the point. But once you've taken control of this right side, the pocket can also play up here. This is really strong. But once you've taken this right side, you can either bait the cap and play it slowly, or you can say, "Oh, we've done loads of damage. Let's just go into them." You can commit at that point, call for your flank to come in and crush. Sometimes it's easier for your flank scout to just play with your combo. I think that's easier on a lot of maps, and you can leave your roamer by himself. Try to bomb in through lower later on. It's probably the cleanest thing to do. Otherwise, you can just take eyes left. If you're here applying pressure without committing, that's still good to do. You don't have to get in when your combo comes in. If you can be here, take some eyes. If like 2 players are looking at you, like the Pocket and Roma are like having a spam battle with you, you can just keep doing that. Take the pressure and then come in when you're ready. That's how like an ideal Uber Adlash push works. Any questions on anything then, Sunshine related?
I guess this is not just a Sunshine. I guess this is on every map. But as a Pocket, when the scout and demo bombs in, do you like delay your jump and like have the medic catch you in the air like Flash at the end of the Uber when you land?
No,
what do you do?
it depends. On Snake Water, I will ask for a flash because you have snipers in the right spawn staring you down, and it makes it impossible for you to come in. And that's also specifically because my demo doesn't like to lock it out. So,
Like have a
on
flash
this
going
last,
in?
on this last, I just delay a bit behind the Uber. So I let my demo scout Uber in. I delay a moment. I usually say, like, lock out spawn or shoot the sniper and then come in. The biggest issue that you will have is dying to a sniper coming in later. But on this last, I will delay, walk behind, help clean up the gun if necessary, shoot 1 or 2 rockets on point, and then go about my ratting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on this one I delay, but on other maps it might be different.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can try both, see what works. But shooting the point's pretty important to clear the traps and then playing the point early. A lot of teams, you can just cap and you can just take lasts for free. So it's always worth trying to do that. If you can just cap early during an Uber ad last push, just do it.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? From anyone in the audience?
No.
It's pretty comprehensive. I do apologize. I won't repeat a lot of what I said, but a lot of the strategy that I talked about will apply to both maps. But it's just good to kind of explain that.
No,
No,
don't apologize for being comprehensive. Like, be more
good.
comprehensive. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Give us more knowledge.
Okay, in that case, during a last push, if they have a sniper at this particular angle, honestly, the amount of fucking little things when I'm playing games, I fucking learn which demos trap what, and it's really disgusting. If you end up only playing against like the same couple of demos constantly, you just learn where they trap. It's kind of become like its own meta at this point. There's a funny sticky trap in here. These rocks you can do.
Even on
8
Snake
stickies
Water.
in there.
I hate the one in the fucking pack, like in my cafe.
I don't think I see those rocks in my game.
Oh, those should be on every game.
Yeah, you should see the rocks. You should see maybe the shrubbery, maybe not. I'm not too sure how it works, but
Yeah, I don't think I see any of those.
That's
I know some
broken.
funny hiding spots on this map, but other than that, I think that's it.
Show some funny spots.
Okay, if you want something really funny, this window, you can just promise. I'm promising you that I'm only pressing jump once. If you try to jump up onto this window still, you can't. You jump and crouch, jump and crouch, jump and crouch. But if you crouch and jump, you can get on.
C-tab.
No, it's not a C-tab. It's called a crouch jump. You just crouch and then jump.
I
You
mean,
can do it on Snake Water as well to get up into Cheese. But now you know this really bit of important map knowledge.
Does everyone know
Crouch
the
jump.
hiding spot in Valley? Does everyone know that one?
Which one?
What?
Or like, yeah, right there.
Under here. It's a bit silly, but
It's kind of
yeah,
funny.
there's one there. There's loads in chokes. You can be stood up there. You can be stood up there as soldier.
What? You can?
Is there any point in me showing fucking hiding spots at the?
You
Yeah,
can show
why
the,
not?
the
I
second
don't
one,
know.
like on the choke. I mean, the first one that you showed on the choke because we were trying to get on it for 5 minutes.
Actually, yeah, I
you got?
figured it out. I figured it out.
Oh, I didn't.
Honestly,
Depends
I'm not a big fan of hiding players in game generally. As I said, I like the teamwork stuff where everyone's working together. So I find these hiding plays not very good. But I mean, certain soldiers, certain playstyles do get away with it. This, you just walk into the corner, hold W, and jump. That's it. You make that movement super simple, and you can get up here, no problem. You can shoot as well. It's kind of funny. A slightly harder one to do, but maybe more unexpected is you can get here. It's
Oh my
pretty.
God.
They won't see you here as well.
That's so good.
Yeah,
I've never,
I think that's
never-
better.
I think it works on the other side as well, maybe. Although I don't know if I've ever tried it. Might have been up here. Might not. Nah.
It's still really
that
strong.
might be
I've never
one.
seen
I can't
Sully
remember.
don't do that.
Yeah,
There's funny sacks. If you want a nice sack play into second, this is a good one.
Mm.
You need to go fast here and then oops, sorry, there's a tiny. I was going
Round.
too
Oh, yeah.
slow, I think. This is, I called it the polygon sack, but I don't know if he was the first person to do it. But you go fast, you slot. This place is rough. It's not as bad as I'm making it look. I'm
These
just
goddamn
oh,
polygons.
that is super strong. You can get
It's
on the
kinda
med
chill.
really fast.
Yeah.
The only trick to it is delaying that last rocket until you're through there. But there's the reverse of that I'm sure you've seen from the Americans, where you can go into mid like that. I did it bad, but you can get on them.
Yeah.
One of the nicest practical jumps that I use all the time, if you're spawning from forwards, you can do this in order to like roll out super quick. Oh, I fucking edge bug.
Nah, you didn't
Yeah.
edge bug. You just got stuck.
Wait, it's no,
Oh,
I
look.
fucking I hit the edge. It was like
Yeah.
oh, let me reload. But this one is just super nice to just roll out quickly, just those three, and then you can like meow, come up to
Yeah.
cafe super fast. That's nice. I don't think I have any other silly things to show here, but
That was good.
Oh yeah, this.
Didn't know that.
Just put us
You
in level
didn't know
3.
that?
Yeah, I didn't know
um,
that.
there's this, I guess. You can hide like you can
What?
hide here with a
What?
wallbug, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you know they like to push out this way, that can be pretty strong because who would expect that?
That's
But-
fucking strong, yeah.
There's a good sack into last from here. I think you just go like 1, 2, 3 or something. It might just be
Which
1 or
one's
2.
really-
I don't know. I never do it, but that's a funny sack you can do. If you're doing like the main sack though, the best one to do is just 1, 2. Oops, I hit the wall. 1, 2. That's like the main sack. Anyway, unless we have any questions, I'll move on to process now. I've moved on to process anyway. Regardless of your questions, I'm moving on.
No questions.
Have you
I'll
tried out
be-
F7 by the way? Process F7. Have you
Oh,
noticed
did I
any
do?
like differences? Because apparently there are. I mean, there are some other than the visual ones, but like if you've tried out the F,
It
map.
doesn't like really matter too much. I'm annoyed that like people focus their efforts on trying to improve this map. I honestly think this map should not be in rotation. It is
What?
just straight up a worse version of Sunshine.
It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Oh, yeah,
that's
it
what
is.
I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, it is a bad map. People love it
Dude.
because it's great in mixes, and the reason why people like it is because everything's hidden. There's so many hiding spots. You can hide in sewers, you can hide in IT. Everything's like hidden. You can go for these wacky plays. People can hide, and that's why it's really well liked. But it's just awful to play.
Yeah, I
just-
hate fucking process, man. I made the mistake of saying that in a mix, and people.
It's good for
Wanted to kill
mixes.
me.
For mixes and lobbies and stuff, it's probably the best map.
It's the
But only
poster child.
because
it's
it's
the
like-
dust 2 of TF2.
Yeah, it's the
it-
poster
yeah,
child
it
of
is.
6s.
But it's awful, and I hate the fact that people are spending so much time like. I guess maybe it's the map that needs its improvements, but these kind of small things do nothing. They're trying to like give this
Quality of
map
life.
steroids, but I wish they would give quality of life map updates to like
Those
better maps.
ramps helped me a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
these
do
ramps are nice. These are the main improvements, really. You can now see it was always a ramp, but they've changed it. Other things, they made the chokes slightly wider, so these are slightly easier. The ceilings might be slightly, so these chokes are a tiny bit easier. They're not quite as tight. Is that a good thing? I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I don't think it affects the gameplay
I think
much.
the
It gives
biggest
wider
problem
sight
with
lines.
this map is flank.
They've
Hmm?
removed this. You could hide there before as Roma. You can't do that now.
That would be a crazy spot. What the fuck?
Like,
Yeah, you
TC
could do it in all
sucks,
versions.
Sewer sucks. It's
They've
There's
added
that. This
this.
is the weirdest one. Like I don't
They've added-
understand
Yeah.
this.
Well, no, it always used to be here, but it was just you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Visually, it was the pipes.
Is the pipes, but like
um,
what's the point of it though? Like
Yeah, I think they've improved the lighting, so now you have a spotlight when you're hiding in the corners. I think that's come out a bit more, maybe.
Now you see enemies better.
Oh, yeah, it's. They've also added this bit, so again, this
Oh,
technically was
yes.
always there. They've just made it visible. Maybe that's for sticky traps or something. I don't know, but those are pretty much the main changes. But all the chokes are just slightly wider. What I think maybe these ones haven't changed. I can't tell now, but and then just lighting updates. It's all right. Anyway, mid fights, exact same deal. Left or right side. Left side fast, left side slow. Either case, really, some teams will play this differently to me. I'm gonna say some teams will just bait in their choke for ages. You'll have both scouts stood on this rock, like being the auto turrets. It's not how I prefer to play. I prefer to pick a side quite strong. So either left side or right side. If we go left, your demo goes across left, and you're fine to be pretty aggressive here. If you can get your pocket here, your scouts ideally want to get up towards this high ground. Your roamer can be with the team, or I would say honestly with this map you can have the carousel thing where teams just rotate sides forever. I don't know if you see that much, but honestly I'll just pick a side. If you guys go left, go left. If you go right, go right. Try to do it as a blob, but your roamer can be a bit independent if he wants to like hide in IT. If you guys do right side mids, your roamer can try hiding in IT the same way he would hide it in cafe. Can work. Which case, it's nice to get the pocket on the far right, but it's just picking a side and going for it. If you go right side, try to get up towards the pack. If you end up staying on this low ground forever, you will just die. So it's good to try to take this position a bit more towards here. You do need to pick a point where you do decide to commit. So having solly bombs is super strong. I know that this spot is called the Pappy spot because at the start of every mid he goes here. It's good for info, I guess. Maybe does a bit of early spam, but he just waits to find an opening and goes for this high bomb off the wall. So 1, 2, and you can land anywhere. You can land left in any of the chokes. But early on, you do want both your scouts up on this high ground. But if you go left, I would try to go left fairly quickly. If your scouts can control the high ground dance around here, it's pretty strong. I don't like soldiers being up here as much because they just die, but if you can get your scouts up here, it's really strong. If you go left, getting your scouts up here, good. You go right, getting your scouts up here is good. But then it's like the whole thing trying to spam them off. Don't know if there's some funny strats on these mids.
Do you need a winger to jump on the left crate?
Yeah, I think so. From here, if you have a winger, it's. I think you can do it with. Let me try without. I think without you can. No. Okay. Yeah. This is probably a map for winger then, just for this reason.
Yeah, I remember someone talking about it, like how one of the scouts should have a winger on this map.
Also for the
Yeah.
second, on the metal gate as well, on second, you can
Oh,
see.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, this is huge. Otherwise, you have to go like that, which is a bit more awkward. But again, guys, it's just about picking a side, being really strong, and kind of blobbing up and playing together. You all play right side. Having your scouts rotate like this is pretty good. I know a lot of scouts like to play this position. And it's baiting out soldier sacks if you're there. Otherwise, playing together, finding some openings. I didn't mention this, but fast roamer rollouts, they're a bit more common on this map. You can also do them on Sunshine. If you do them, do it like once early on. Try not to do them every mid, because it'll be in the situation of, oh, your roamer goes in early, he's killed the demo early, he's won the mid fight for you. Great. You're now going to stalemate on second. But it's if he goes in and then just dies, doesn't get the demo, then you've kind of lost the mid already. So it's like a bit of a risk. But doing it early on to kind of apply pressure to the demo can be pretty good, because they might then fear for later rounds and it'll affect their positioning. They might play a bit more passive. So if you go for a funny fast roamer bomb on any map, do it early on and definitely not every round. Okay. Any questions for the mids? I mean, this is very personal how people do it. I like to play very blobby and really rotate quite strongly. I know once the push happens, some demos like to push across point, other demos like to push around. It's really It feels a bit sloppier. I'm just not as much of a fan of this compared to Sunshine.
I hate this mid.
Oh
This
yeah.
Roamer. It's god awful.
Any questions on the mids though?
Do you want to talk about like holding and pushing it maybe?
Well, that was just the mid fights. I'll go on to the holds and go through them quickly now.
Okay, fair.
So last disad, pocket, medic, building top right. Some teams also like to have a heavy here. I don't personally, because if you can get a gun bottom left, that's good. So soldier, medic, demo, point trapped. Demo can play into the spawn like this. Playing from spawn as demo on this map's really huge. You can just keep resupplying. Shoot 8 stickies, 4 pipes, just instantly reload everything. It's great. Anyway, demo left side. Roma can be more towards the left. Doesn't need, if he's this deep, it's fine, but you need to back out. Like once you've got that early spot in lobby, that's good. But then back out. I personally would jump up towards this left side, or rotating through spawn can be an option, but it can be a bit scary if you don't have any of your team out. And then last class, sniper can be in left spawn. Oh, and sentry. You can build a gun just left side towards spawn, just build it up quickly. And your sniper can be in the spawn door just watching the choke. Once they come in, again, come out quickly, either on heavy or just scout super quickly. You just don't want people to stay on sniper too long. Once they go in, exact same thing as last time. You play the kind of solis baiting the point game. If they go in left, you all blob up right. If they go in right, you all blob up left. But in the instance that they all go in left and you can blob up right, if your Roma survives and he can block the point first, do it. Your pocket can then watch or even push the flanks with the buff. However, the opposite thing's true. If you go left side, they come in right, you all go left, you rotate your medic up top, take this on a high ground, take this left side. At this point, your Roma is closer to the flanks, so he should watch the flanks, and then your pocket can focus on denying the point first. But then it's, okay, I'm going to block first. It's really important comms. So that's disad. Even Ubers, best place to have the sentry gun is right here. A lot of teams put it here, but here it can be spammed from 1 and 5. On this spot right here, it can't be spammed from either. It's just a better spot. Dispenser here, medic here, pocket watching 3, Roma watching 5 or 4, just towards the left side, mostly focused on 5. You can then have a sniper rotating, playing round 4 can be quite nice, and then your demo watches 1 and 2 passively. You can have both of these chokes trapped, like 4 stickies, and you can be stood back here so you're safe from snipers from lobby. It's like the sweatiest defense you can have, what I just described. Any questions on last hold?
No.
Okay. Pushing out, never ever do it from rollout. I'm just going here so I can show you from this perspective. Best place to, a lot of teams now, the meta is slowly shifting for teams to push out of 1. This can be really strong because if you're taking your pocket here, you can just shoot a rocket or 2. It'll clear any traps. You can come through for free. There's a tiny sight line here from choke, but really, you can get through quite easily. Otherwise, if you're trying to push out with the Uberad, bring your combo through lobby. Demo scout, use through lower. You can use and catch them towards choke. Either scenario, though, it's good to have one of your solis delay a little bit on the staircase here, just to stop any back cap attempts, because often you get, I don't know, scouts hiding and trying to rat into last. So, regardless of if you push through 1 or lower, have one of your solis delay. And then make sure just everything's clear when everyone's pushed out. If you want to use Uber, probably best to do it from low lobby. If you want to take second for free and not use, probably better from 1. Okay, second hold. Demo towards here. Do not go on the grass, or it is feeding. You can die very easily here, so it's best to kind of stick more towards here. Have your medic towards the back point with both scouts here. You just want both scouts set up on this high ground. They can both be stood inside each other here with Scattergun preemptively aiming the air, and that would be perfect. That'd be optimal gaming.
I've actually seen one of the scouts like sit on the other metal fence, like on your right side, and you could see like all the chokes.
This one. Oh,
Yeah, that one.
yeah, this is a good position to be in. I'm here on pocket on disad, but you can get like info here. So yeah, the exact same thing. You can see all 3 chokes from here. You know where they're going. I wouldn't stay here normally just because you can get spammed a lot. They'll just shoot rockets at you. So by default, I'd be more back towards here. I think it's a slightly better position to deny bombs, but 1 scout here, 1 scout there. Then, yeah, so demos here. You can have choke trapped, maybe that shutter trapped, but focusing here. I think Domo actually said something about having a trap there like 80% of the time. But, Roma watching IT, I find it's really scary because a lot of teams will rush IT and try to get a pick onto the Roma. So being here, you're safe. Being here, you're not safe. Come for the pack occasionally, maybe, but really, I just don't cross this line. I stay far back here. You can watch it fairly passively. Pocket, I tend to get buffs here and then play more of this kind of position. You can deny the choke quite well, and there's a big high bomb you can do to land in choke. Also, if my Roma's dead, I drop down to here. Just so I can watch IT, with both of my scouts being able to stay on the high ground. So I can drop down, watch it somewhat passively, and I'm still in position to pressure choke or bomb towards sewer.
Can I say one thing as well? Isn't it better for the Roma to be maybe on the floor watching IT instead of at the top, because he could get spammed as well?
Yeah, better for him to be here, you mean?
Yeah. Instead of like up top where you were before.
Yeah, that's fine. Up top there is okay. A lot of Romas like to play there. Here is also fine. Both do the job, but the difference is here, if they rush in, you're now not able to stop them from sending players behind. So if you are a Roma and you're stood here, they try to rush you, you maybe do 1-2 rockets, you back out towards lobby, you've now locked this out.
Okay.
So they can't get through here. And you can back up as much as you need to the pack. So that's why. Otherwise down here, this is where I go as pocket still, so I can kind of split my attention. One other place you can go as pocket, if anyone's watched the Seagull videos, this was a classic strat. If teams send in sack plays, you can just do the rollout into them quickly, like before their Romas even died. Like as soon as you see the Solly sacking in, you just instantly counter sack like that. It's really fast. They won't expect it. It's really effective. So this can also be a good position for pocket for that reason. Not all the time though, it's kind of team specific. Again, pressure cookering is super strong here. Roma, IT pretty much by himself. Maybe a flank scout can be... Yeah, flank scout and Roma push IT. Pocket alone, sewers, demo scout, choke, everyone pressure from every door. Pushing into into mid, it's worth keeping track of these 2 spots here for soldiers, just clearing things. Again, don't delay in chokes, come through quickly, take the ground. Don't hesitate if you're committing in. It's better to, if you want to not use into mid, best to do it through choke. If you want to Uber into mid, best maybe do it through IT, because they won't necessarily know you're there until later. So that would be the reasoning for that. But of course, you can adapt, and if you're going IT and realize, oh, they're really far back, you don't need to use and stuff. But generally, taking mid for free from choke is probably my preferred thing to do. Once you're on the mid, again, the hold becomes less important. It would somewhat be a mirror matchup where your Roma can play more towards IT. I like to peek things a lot whenever I'm playing a soldier. I like to, not in a way that you can get caught, but if you can get this early info, it's good. You can get eyes, and you can also, it creates opportunities rather than watching it more passively. But Roma watching IT, pocket and demo. Ideally, the demo can trap sewers and choke, or just sewers. Pocket can be towards choke, but once you've got mid, you might want scouts up on these crates if you think they're going to be counter-sacking, because it's a good place to deny. Otherwise, you just want to peek, get that info. Sack plays from choke, it's a pretty standard thing to do. Otherwise, rushing flanks, just get info. If there is ever a player that has crossed this line, this invisible line, if anyone is there, you just bomb them. You try to catch those players if anyone's there. That's the biggest play to do there. It's really good to just punish anyone who is left at that line. Otherwise, a sniper, I hate to say it, does work pretty well on this point. You can have him go sewers. I don't like to resort to sniper unless I have to. I prefer to honestly just send in sacks over and over again until it eventually works. But you have some different options. Get info, try to work out what you can do. Once you're pushed through, if you're pushing through into second, if you don't want to use coming through choke or this far left area, you can take it for free either of those ways. You don't really want to use your pocket soldier can bomb through to the left, or there's some other things you can do that's interesting. But if you want to use the Uber into second kind of sneaky like, you can either run in through lower, or another option, you can run in through up top and aim to use towards rollout. With a lot of maps, including Sunshine, it is nice to, if you have a big Uber ad pushing into second, to not use the Uber on second, but just instantly try to run into them on last and try to Uber on their last. Depending, like, if they're like picks to be had in here, then go for it. But it's just being fast. Otherwise, you can like leave a scout on the cap and already be pushing last. It's usually better before they're set up. For this, for a second hold outside, it's not too important. I know some medics like to. Martin likes to stay here. He likes this spot. This is where he is all the time. I find it funny, but back here is more usual. Your demo wants to trap shutter and lower lobby by default. These are the two most important doors. And then if one of your soldiers is stood here, he can watch these other two chokes pretty well. And then anyone else can just be blobbed up on point. Your scouts, anything, it's fine.
Just a
yeah?
question. Yeah. In general, like when you like holding second, right, you want your deman like high on the point, like on Sunshine on process, and not like by the floor. Because I think I've seen a couple of demos like by the one, sometimes
by
or
the
like,
one,
or by the shutter in general, like Sunshine.
I wouldn't be stood here because you can trap it and watch it more from a safe distance. Being stood here is kind of fine. It's kind of preference. It's just you don't want to be in a position where you can get picked easily. So I like to, if I was demo, I'd probably be stood towards here just because I'm with my scouts, I'm with my heals, I'm safe. If he stood alone here while everyone else there, I guess it's not as safe. But honestly, the second holds don't matter that much. Pushing into lobby, taking lobby. There we go. You want maybe your roamer watching too. I like to do it from here because you can also get eyes on one. But yeah, do definitely peek when you get the opportunity and go for the gun. But otherwise, watching this left side. If your team takes lobby, I'm a bit more passive. I'll be a bit more like towards here, just locking this out, doing the occasional spam rocket, and your scout towards one. When you're taking lobby, doing it through low is the safest. Where you want your demo to lock out 3 and 4, you can get those two trapped, then have your pocket come far right and play towards 5. Then your pocket scout and medic can be here. That's kind of what a lobby hold looks like, or if you're taking lobby, what it should look like. The reasons for doing it is either getting ready to send in sacks, or you can work a sniper from this. The scout by 1 isn't too important, but this last in particular is very, very, very punishing for demos that do not watch 1 and 2. So if you ever notice that a demo is spamming into lobby and he's watching 3, the biggest play to do is try to take lobby, contest him a bit, and then call for your flank to push. Your roamer pushes, roll out your flank, or your scout pushes 1, sack 2. It can be really strong. But as with all lasts, if there isn't a gun, just send in 1 or 2 solly sacks. Try to get the 4s. If there is a gun, if you can take it out, great. Solly spamming from rollout and 5 can be strong. But yeah, it's about where the demo is. If the demo watches 1 and 2, you need to make more plays right side. You can try rushing the Roma right side. But if their setup is just super strong, you've got to find a way of taking out that gun. Alternatively, you can like work a sniper and stuff like that. Play banners and other such things. Spies can work as well. Uber add last push, the two main ones. One of them is the one rush, which I'm sure you kind of know. You just rush. Demo uses there, jumps up top left, your scout runs in. You can rush one. It's interesting, but by default, you do the lobby one where the default Uber, your Roma can delay far left. He can come in late through rollout or one, mix it up, or you can also just follow behind the team. The way the Uber works is you use through on demo pocket maybe, or demo scout again, and then it's a similar checklist to last time. They get the gun quickly, clean up any frags that are out on this right side. If like a Roma's there, get that ASAP. Take out the gun. Your pocket follows behind unless he goes in with the Uber. Shoot a rocket on the point so your scout can play it early. At this point, if your pocket soldier can get in this position, get up towards secret, you just win. This is just if your pocket, or if you have a soldier back here during the last push on process, you will just win. And then it's the whole thing of your scout can bait the cap, your soldiers can push to that whole play. The exact same things that I said on Sunshine. And yeah, I think that might be it. That's just about 2 maps in an hour. Do you have any questions?
Do you when let's say you push from 4 and take the right side, do you just bait the point and like just shoot the enemies, or do you bomb the left side?
What, as pocket?
As in general, as a team.
As a team thing, I think it's better that you secure right side. Your demo traps off that right spawn. You secure this right side. You try to get your like team firmly established on right, and at that point, you can collapse into them. If you've managed to find any picks, if you ever get any picks, like you go in right side, get a pick, I would just bait the cap straight away, and then you can force them to come to point, and then you're taking a 6v5 while they're all clumped up on point. That would be really strong. But obviously, these map talks and stuff, it's a bit like these are just setups for things that will generally help a lot in game. There's like so much more to it. There's so many different like variations and stuff. Having set plays is usually a pretty bad idea. You want to be able to adapt to on the fly and just see what works.
It's like a guideline, right? Like we do this as a guideline, but obviously
these general positions will help for these kind of reasons. But it's just the current meta as is. It can evolve, things will change on maps, but it's just having an idea of what your role is. Me, the whole soldier thing of, one soldier blocks point first while the other watches the flank, and then whatever, that to me is just good gameplay. It works on any map. So if I say, I want a soldier to hold here or whatever, it's for this kind of function. But yeah. Anything else? I'm conscious that we're 5 minutes over, so if you're late to your scrim now, then
I think most scrims are turned on 15 is fine, but
oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Can't think of it.
That was nice. Lots of information.
Actually, what do you actually? I could one question. What do you think of having heavy for like a pre-Uber? Because I've been told like having a heavy pre-Uber is not that good because he could like waste their Uber and spend some time, but once he dies, it's gonna be a 6v5, so it's not worth it. It's like it's really important to have people alive on lasts, especially defending.
Yeah. If you have time for an engineer, it is just always better because, yeah, as you said, the gun will eat the Uber and your player survives. If you have a heavy, some heavies just like to die, but having a heavy late on during a push is really, during a disad hold, or just during a hold is really good because they slow things down. If your NG comes up on heavy, the other spawn, and they can just survive, it's really big because it just slows it down. Whenever you're attacking last, if you're the attacking team, you want to finish that fight quickly. The longer it takes, the more likely they are to hold. So when you're on disad, you want to delay things. Buy time for your spawners, buy time for your Uber. It's that whole kind of taking it slow versus taking it fast, and that's why having heavy late on would be good. But otherwise, if you don't have time to set up a sentry, then I would consider running a heavy. The old strat on this map was having the heavy top right, but it's if you have time for a gun, always go with a gun. Otherwise, you can have heavy, but it's like not preferable. And you can also do sentry pyro. I've also seen. Just like on Gully Wash, you can have the pyro back just protecting the sentry for a little bit before going in, as opposed to having a sniper. That's like mega sweaty.
How do you deny a sentry pyro in general on all maps?
You focus down the pyro.
Alright.
So if they've got sentry pyro, you try to kill the pyro first and then the gun. It's like the first line of defense before taking the gun. On some maps like Gully, if it's a demo and a scout Uber into a pyro, the pyro will usually die. Specifically on Gully, I guess the pocket can kind of bomb across from bats, but there's always the chance that the pyro just denies the Uber. It's kind of rough, but it's how it is.
True.
Then if you know there's a pyro whose job is to just deny the Uber by holding close, and you know they're doing it, just Uber from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, pineapple on pizza.
All
Yes
right,
or
I think
no?
we have to give out Discord bans. Thanks for this map talk. It's been very educational, very informative.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome. And
Yeah.
if,
Yeah, thank you.
if you do get any like questions or anything, do feel free to ask. But I think I was pretty comprehensive with those.
Yeah.
Do you like
Yeah.
pineapple on
Thank you.
pizza?
What's that?
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I think it can work. Yeah.